gang, gang. Hey, nothing but love and respect. You might have some cool fans, but mine are the best. We've been through it all, went to war when duty called. Never left a man behind, we move as one is super strong. I don't want followers, that implies I'm the leader. I'm not the captain, I just gave them something they can believe in. I hold the lamp in the darkness, but they're the light that I needed to see the road that we walk in between the angels and demons. And my fans have my back. Hate us if your feelings don't like facts. And my fans will fight back. Beat you with the keyboard you've been using to write back. I guess we need each other like both sides of the battery. We the army, we the homies, we the gang, we the cavalry. We're brothers and sisters, we hold it down like we gravity. Can't nobody break the bond that made us all family.
Me and my fans, we don't care what anybody say. Middle fingers to whoever in the way, man. Me and my fans, we gon' be together to the grave. It's a game till forever and a day, man. Me and my fans, we don't even trip in the hate. We the own in our veins, man. Me and my fans,
we the hangover gang. Gang, 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 gang.
Oklahoma weather can dish out some of the worst punishment in the world. Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Tuttle. But now you can fight back by installing Class 4 impact-resistant shingles from Ferguson Roof Systems. These shingles can withstand large hail, heavy rain, and hurricane-force winds, all while keeping your home safe and dry. And the best part? This upgrade is completely free for many homeowners. So call today to start reaping the benefits these Class 4 shingles bring, including a discount on home insurance. Only at FergusonRoofSystems.com. Hey everyone, meteorologist Tuttle back with you again. It is Thursday evening. It is the eve of the eve. So in 24 hours, we'll be saying 2021, kiss it. Or another word, welcoming 2022. I'm over it, man. I want an exit door to this matrix that we're stuck in. Seriously, I can't take any more of this nonsense. Ron's in the house on Facebook with some stars tonight. Thank you, sir. Maybe we'll get a stars party going. I don't know. You guys triggered the stars party somehow, so get on with it, and then we'll see if it triggers again. It's some new thing Facebook did. Welcome to you guys on YouTube. As always, please leave your comments. Nancy's checking in there from McCurtain County. You come to the right place. We're going to be talking about some winter weather, and believe it or not, the newest data, some severe weather, including tornadoes back in Oklahoma. It just may happen. We'll take a look at that more. By the way, if you're on Facebook and you're not getting notified when I go live, or maybe the AI is a little slow. Maybe your computer brain works faster than its computer brain. You're realizing, hey, Aaron's already live. He's already started, and Facebook hasn't even told me yet. And doesn't tell me until 5 minutes into it, or 10 minutes into it, or 30 minutes into it. And what good does that do? All right, well, click the link I just now posted. You can opt in to get direct notifications from me through my ManyChat system. That way you don't miss a single thing. So that's only if you're having some trouble. If Facebook's behaving and doing what it's supposed to do, then you don't have to worry about it. All right. So make sure you tell your friends and family about AT's weather. They can get the latest information for the winter storm coming up this weekend. And thanks again for tuning in. We're watching the number go up on the people tuning in, which means usually when the number is slow to climb, it means Facebook is slow to notify you. It's my workaround for that. All right, I'll tell you what, outside right now, it's not nearly as cold as it was this time last night. We felt pretty quick. I think we're about 36 degrees this time last night. Right now, we're holding at 57 degrees. That is already a sign of some things to come. Debbie's in the house with some stars, so is Lindsay. Thank you, ladies. All right, let's go to the full screen here of the weather graphics, and we're going to start with the jet stream pattern, the upper levels of the atmosphere. Last few days, we've been talking about this. The brighter the colors, the more energy. So you see a lot of energy is starting to work its way through Oklahoma as we head into Friday afternoon and evening. That's going to kickstart our rainy first part of the weekend. Now, there's a lot of energy with this first wave coming in. This is quite a strong upper disturbance right here. It's very large, covers all of the western area of Texas and New Mexico. And that is making its way right over Oklahoma and into Kansas. And that is going to kickstart the threat of not only severe weather for southeast Oklahoma on Saturday morning, but also the mixture of ice and snow from northern parts of central Oklahoma, northern Oklahoma, and into Kansas. Now, that's a fast mover. So by mid-Saturday morning, it's already moving through about half of Oklahoma. As we head into the afternoon, it's already pushing into Kansas. So that'll be a quick precipitation wave with it. Now, what comes in behind it is what I've been talking to you for the last couple of days. I've been hoping for, fingers crossed, because I like a little action. And what we need is a second piece of energy to try to close off into an upper level low. And it looks like, this is the looking at the Canadian model, by the way, it's trying to do just that. It's trying to close it off. And as it does so, that provides a little bit better lift in the atmosphere for us as it works its way through. So things are kind of coming on into plan. Now, it's not going to completely close off. It's still a little bit of an open wave here, but at least it's stronger than it was, indicated by the brighter brighter colors on the map for Saturday night, which means a better opportunity for measurable snow as this whole system starts to move through. So yay, the Canadian. All right, and I'm just going to stick with that model for the most part as I show you what's going to transpire, because I like it the best. And it usually does pretty good. The European will come in later on, and that'll probably jive with it. We'll take a look at the American model too. It should start to trickle in here in a few minutes. But how things will go in the big picture: rain here across the southeastern half of the state, pretty much right along I-44 by Friday night at 3 o'clock in the morning. Some heavy stuff there, even some thunderstorms in southeast Oklahoma. But you can see the purple and the pink on the map indicating a mixture of freezing rain, sleet, and then the blue is all snow. And so you can see how that kind of works its way into the I-44 corridor, all right, for the icy stuff back here in northwest Oklahoma. And then even in the southeastern Kansas and, yes, parts of Missouri in that wintry mix. But then all this blue stuff up here is going to be all snow. And so you can obviously expect higher snowfall totals with that. Now here's lunchtime on Saturday. The line in the sand hasn't really moved much. The Arctic air is in place. It may drift a little bit more to the south. But needless to say, remember, it's a fast mover. So by Friday afternoon, the precipitation's pretty much moved out of the state. There's a little residual here in far northeast Oklahoma, and then, of course, in Missouri and in Kansas at that point in time. And then here comes the secondary round for Saturday evening, and that is this new batch here with the next wave of that developing upper low, and that's going to trigger off a nice band of snow, probably a little heavier band, that moves through, you got it, central Oklahoma, including the Oklahoma City metro area. So, I am so hopeful we get a couple of inches of snow out of this guy on Saturday night into early Sunday morning. And yes, it should produce a little bit of snow out there for you guys in Little Rock and into Arkansas, especially eastern Arkansas, on Sunday afternoon as that system moves away. So there's the big picture of how things ought to transpire. I'll tell you what, I'm going to skip that for now. We'll go to the severe weather aspect of Saturday morning. So keep in mind, the Storm Prediction Center does have a risk of severe weather in southeast Oklahoma, and that does include this little brown area you see here. That's a little edge for a low tornado threat. Also has some potential for some low end hail and low end wind damage, but that is where that is confined. If we look a little closer at Oklahoma, look at the significant tornado parameter. In other words, the best ingredients we have in the atmosphere to offer. It is out here actually over eastern and southeastern Oklahoma. So basically Fort Smith along I-40 to the west toward McAllister region, and then back down south to just east of Ardmore, a little hot spot down here in southeast Oklahoma, where the best parameters and the model data are coming together for potential tornado. If we look around this region, we do have some decent shear, turning with height from a south wind that goes to a southwest. And this little gray shaded area is Cape values up around the upper 800s to 900s. So for wintertime, it's good. In the summertime and in the spring, we obviously are talking about way higher indices and better conditions than that. But this is the end of December. If we do look at a point forecast sounding in that area, it does indicate adequate directional height and speed increase in our shear profile. Classic supercell. Possible hazard type is a tornado with a pretty good hodograph. So it could easily happen to have a early Saturday morning tornado in parts of southeast Oklahoma. The models are producing some helicity tracks, which means rotation within the storm. Potentially could be a tornado with one of those. Now they're not gonna know the exact track. So yes, this one's over Tulsa, for example, and this was actually north of I-40. So they're not getting the placement right. I would shift those more south. But at least you kind of have the general idea that there'll actually be some rough stuff going on. All right, now there will be some showers Friday afternoon, so we'll kickstart this into motion for you. So if you have anything to do outdoors that requires some dry weather, do it in the morning, because otherwise it can be kind of dreary, drizzly, light rain off and on during the afternoon and evening hours here as you head on out for your New Year's Eve celebrations. Here's 8 o'clock in the evening. We still got them scattered around. Sometimes the models are trying to dry things out after the first wave, but they're just not doing it anymore. They're keeping it moist. Here's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So here's midnight, New Year's Eve. We are ringing it in wet. So obviously you might want to be indoors or underneath some cover. There's some rain, heavy rain at that develops around 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning and all lights up like a Christmas tree. Saturday at 3 o'clock in the morning. So some of these will be heavy. Might even have some lightning up here in northwest Oklahoma. This would be some freezing sleet and freezing rain maybe developing out here in the northern fringe. We'll show you the temperatures here in a second. But that's actually a pretty good signal for a good thunderstorm coming through at 4 o'clock in the morning here in Oklahoma City, down south along I-35. And yes, there's a couple helicity tracks that those models do produce, which indicate some rough, tough thunderstorms here after 5 o'clock in the morning, stretching from roughly Tulsa down into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Looks like most of the severe weather threat should stay just north and east of Dallas and in northeastern Texas and in the southeastern Oklahoma through about 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's a fast-moving situation. So all right, so that's the latest with that. All right, now temperature-wise, if you've been under a rock, welcome. So let's go to the Friday afternoon. We're in the 60s. If you're going to be out and about tomorrow evening, it'll be cool, be in the 50s. Jacket weather, sweater weather, all that kind of stuff. So nothing terrible. You're not going to freeze to death or anything like that. But, all right, let's go to the 3 o'clock in the morning time frame. Now, if you remember the map I just showed you, that heavy rain, even a little bit of lightning, once you get to this line from Ponca City to Enid, that gets below freezing. So we're looking at some pretty significant freezing rain totals here in northern Oklahoma on into southern Kansas as a result of that. And it really depends on how fast this front moves. A lot of times the models will underestimate the speed of the front, and it'll move in faster, quicker because it's Arctic air. As we head into the 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning time frame, it does start to cool down here in Oklahoma City just by a few degrees. But the bottom is not dropping out just yet, but it is up here across northwest Oklahoma. Let's go into the 9 a.m. hour. There you go. The bottom's dropping out, my friends. By 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, we're well below freezing. We're in the 20s. It's in the 20s and teens up in northern Oklahoma. Southeast Oklahoma is also cooling down with the passage of this front. There's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's go to 3. This is all on New Year's Day. 4, 5, 6 o'clock. We're struggling to get... to hold, I should say, in the 20s by that point here in central Oklahoma. We're into the teens and single digits up into Kansas. So heading to 7, 8, 9, 10 for Saturday evening. You can see obviously it gets a little bit colder, and we'll stretch this on into about Sunday morning. And where you see the purple shadings, those are actual air temperatures around the single digits. All right, so it is going to be a brutally cold Saturday, not anything fun, that's for sure. And if we were to look at the wind chill values associated with that, we'll plot these up for you again here real quick. I mean, if the cold air wasn't enough to get you to bundle up and stay indoors, this ought to do it. So wind chill values in the morning in the teens. All right, that's the morning through the lunchtime. Single digits up north, below zero up across parts of Kansas in the purple and in northern Oklahoma. So below zero from Ponca City to almost close to Stillwater and out here in northwest Oklahoma. And the metro here in Oklahoma City, we should be below zero about 9 o'clock in the evening for our Saturday. And then it just kind of just stays cold overnight into early Sunday morning. And then Sunday afternoon, we do rebound a little bit. Temperatures getting close to freezing, and then the wind chill values dropping off a little bit. Okay, now, precipitation-wise. So we're going to look at a couple of different models. This will be the our best high-resolution short-term model, which, wintertime, it's okay. It's better for severe weather or just generic rain, but it's going to do its best shot. And the reason why I was plotting this is because at the time, it was the only model that kind of even indicated any light freezing precipitation in central Oklahoma when I was looking at model data earlier this evening. But it had obviously the most of it back up into this region. And I can go with both ideas, although I would shift it farther south with the new Canadian, which we'll show you here in a second. It is going to continue up into Kansas, though, so you will expect a little bit of light freezing rain and some sleet mixed in up across that area. Again, this is mostly on Saturday. Now, here's the Canadian, as I've talked about. It shifted things a little bit more to the south, which I do like. Now, it won't pick up the really light stuff up here in southern Kansas. You'll still get a light coating or light glazing with Arctic air you typically do. But I do like to see this heavier line in the sand, though, from Tulsa to Oklahoma City and then points west on I-40. I like this look better at this point in time in the forecast game, so I would lean more toward this. There's a couple of tenths of freezing rain and sleet, which means bridges and overpasses are going to be problematic. Actual air temperatures for rest of the roadways need to be about 27 degrees or colder, all right, at nighttime for sure, and even during the day to offset the warming from underneath. So just be really careful on area roadways because we might have a problem. All right, up here in Kansas, they want your measurable snow for the first wave. It's up here in all the purple shading, several inches expected up there. Very light amounts down in the southern parts of the state because, again, you got to mix some of your precipitation with a little bit of ice. Now in Oklahoma, our best measurable snow for the first wave will be across the Panhandle. But that secondary wave, and this is the $1,000,000 question. All right, so this is from the European from earlier today. It's had the best consistency in the last 24 hours, so I like it. However, when the European and the Canadian models shake hands, they get married, they get hitched, and they start to look identical, my confidence for winter storm forecasting goes through the roof. And I usually sometimes I like to side with the Canadian as a result. Now, we'll see the Canadian in a minute, but I think it's got a little heavier band here moving up to the north. Let me just take a look here. Little Rock, this was just based off the European data earlier from today, so you're going to at least get some snow out here in Arkansas with this. I think you might get a little bit more than that, especially in the eastern parts of the state. North Texas, a little bit of flurry action down there in Dallas-Fort Worth and points north and west. And now you're not going to build a snowman, but you should at least see some action into Saturday night. Now here's the big picture of the Canadian. This is why I kind of liked it. It likes the heavy snowfall up across the northern part of Kansas. That didn't really change. And northern Missouri. And a little batch up here in northwest Oklahoma. But here's that secondary round, which I liked. And it kind of drifted it from southwest Oklahoma right into central Oklahoma through Tulsa. This little sweet spot here. So right now, that's my favorite model map. This is what I like. And it's doing an inch or two of snow here in central Oklahoma. Now, $1,000,000 question is how much of this will melt. That's the unfortunate hard part because, yes, ground temperatures are warm, and so a lot of this will be wasted. But when you do wake up Sunday morning, we should have some snow on the ground. I can't promise you it'll be enough to build a snowman in Oklahoma. But at least you're going to have something to look at. And that'll put a smile on some people's faces, all right? And as we get into the data tomorrow, we'll be able to see a little bit better fine-tuning of the track pattern and all that kind of stuff. But meanwhile, temperature-wise, like we've talked about before, don't worry about the highs here on Saturday. It's just going to be a brutal day. So just look for falling temperatures from the morning onward. Depending on where you live, if you're in southeast Oklahoma, you've got a few hours to enjoy some mild weather. But if you're in northwest Oklahoma, you never got a single minute to enjoy. On Sunday, though, with a little bit of slight snow on the ground, accumulation-wise, it's going to be a cold and brutal day. Wind chill values won't be that bad, but, still cold. We do warm up a little bit on Monday, so a little bit better there. So we're looking pretty good. And a little quick rebound here for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then the extended outlook here, models are all over the place, from Katie bar the doors to, it's not that bad. It's everywhere in between. And I just don't have a lot of time to focus on the extended because there's so much to talk about in the short term. All right, let me go back to the, let me see if the American model has come in for giggles. And we'll see what kind of trend it's doing. And it may not be in all the way in time, so let me see. That goes through Friday evening at, so yeah, not quite. Hadn't gotten to the meat and potatoes yet. It'll come in, though, in the next couple of minutes. So while we're waiting on that, I don't expect to change the forecast. I like the Canadian output. But we'll see. I like to see compens. I like to see, convergence into a solution from multiple model points because each one has its strengths and weaknesses. I like to lean on different ones for different reasons. Okay, so let's go on into your comments here. YouTube guys, you're very active tonight, so good to see all your comments in here. Jim was better late than never from Mustang. Glad to see you, Jim. Nancy's in the house as always, and good to see you, Mary. All right, let me go to Facebook here real quick. I see Lindsay with some stars and Matthew as well, so thank you. Let me scroll up for some comments. So any threat for severe weather right now, I see the comment, looks to be northeast of Dallas into northeastern Texas for early Saturday morning. So we're talking from the hours of around 4 a.m. to about 8, 9 a.m. From southeast Oklahoma into southeast Texas. It's going to be a while for it to clear that area, clear Oklahoma long before then. All right. Erica's got some stars in the house, so is Kelly, so thank you, ladies. Matthew, I see you as well. Judy, appreciate it. Let me see here. What are the questions? If you have another question for me here real quick, shoot. I'll see if I can't answer it here. I'm going to scroll through. And then the Another model will be here in just a minute. Judy, woo, that's a lot of stars, lady. I like it. That's a lot of love. That's a lot of New Year's love. I like New Year's love. All right, let me see if it's come in yet. Hold on. Oh, it's like molasses, man. It's like watching grass grow. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, so this is Saturday morning. Good deal. All right, so the upper level low, or the upper level track of this first wave hasn't changed. Looks the exact same. By 9 a.m. Saturday, most of the lift you can see is right here along the I-35 corridor. A little bit left over here in this purple area of Enid and to Woodward. So by 9 to 10 o'clock, that continues to shift east and take any heavy precipitation along with it. So usually with this type of a signal and that heavy rain signal we saw, you get Arctic air in place, you can end up with a quick ice storm like that. That was under forecasted, no fanfare, no nothing, right? No love. So a couple of tenths of an inch of ice is not a unheard of forecast at this point in time. It can easily go up from there. And usually what happens is the models will get too excited and they'll overestimate it and they'll call for an ice storm, it's 3/4 of an inch all of a sudden, right? And the Canadian model will sometimes get too aggressive in that aspect. But once they start going that trend, you got to pay attention. Remember our ice storm last year in October? They started getting aggressive earlier on, and I was on vacation in Mexico, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I said, this has got to be a joke. And it wasn't a joke, and that was nasty. So it does happen. All right, we're at the 21 Zulu time frame. Let me go take a look at the precipitation breakout from that. So we'll see how that's changed, if it has at all. All right, so we're looking at the American model, which is just kind of coming in. See if anything's changed in its output. It's been pretty consistent as well. It's favoring northwest Oklahoma and into Kansas for the bulk of the winter precipitation. It didn't quite bring it as far south as the Canadian did, and I think that's an error. I think it'll make it to the I-44 corridor, and this one kind of kept it north. So it has not changed its tune at all. It does have some good signal for some heavy rainfall, some thunderstorms here across Arkansas and southeast Oklahoma and northeastern Texas Saturday morning, so that's the same. And then it does have that developing snow out here in the Panhandle for Saturday afternoon. So we shall see here in another couple of minutes what else comes in. Let me go back. Tara's got some stars in here. April, Robert, thank you. You guys are all over it here on Facebook tonight. I appreciate that. All right, let me see here. Yazi, I love the name. I can honestly say I've never come across your name before. All right, let's see here. So the new model is coming out here for Saturday evening. It does have a little burst of snow up here in central southern Kansas, northern Oklahoma, and southwest Oklahoma. It doesn't appear to be as strong of a signal for that secondary wave as the Canadian and the European. So I'm going to cry foul on the American model at this point in time. And I will probably discount the solution. Let's see, why is it doing that? The upper levels? Okay. Because it has the system a little bit more than north, and it doesn't quite have the deep low out here that the Canadian did. You see this isotherm here, or actually not isotherm, isosalibar. They're coming up here like this. So it didn't really quite form as deep as the other model did, which is why it's not producing that secondary batch of heavier snow. It does have some good energy, though, out here and southwest of it. Yeah, it didn't have the same look. It's a little sadder on the output, which is why it doesn't like as much snow for the second round. All right, well, that's good for you. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to stick with what I have on the Canadian. But I was curious. I just wanted to see it. We'll see what happens with tomorrow morning and see if that changes any. All right, I believe that's it for me. I think I've covered everything I could possibly cover. It was a mouthful. We did most of it in about 20 minutes. Then we kind of hung on for a while just to kind of let the American model come in. So if you're late and you've missed all this, the very quick summary is still going to get cold. Saturday's a brutal day. Be indoors. Same thing for Saturday night and Sunday. Cold, cold, cold. And you don't get caught out there with frostbite. That's one thing. The second thing is roads may become a problem, especially northern Oklahoma for ice covered on Saturday morning. So you don't want to be in that mess. And then, so might be some significant icing across some of the counties here in Oklahoma. The icy line may dip as far south as from Tulsa to Oklahoma City, right now in the latest data, and that would be on Saturday morning. With the Arctic front moving through, and threat of severe weather also Saturday morning, but that's early morning, like 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, southeast Oklahoma. Could be a tornado in that aspect, so make sure you have my weather app, AT's Weather to Go. If you live down there, it'll let you know if tornadoes are developing. And then we've got the final snow with a secondary push of this upper level system, and that would come in Saturday evening and overnight Saturday night, and that produce a light dusting of snow. Hopefully measurable from anywhere from 1 to 2 inches from central to kind of west southwest Oklahoma. So we'll see what happens with that. So that's been the trend here for the last couple of days, going in that direction that I've been looking for. So fingers crossed that that trend stays the same as we head into tomorrow. Speaking of which, tomorrow, of course, is New Year's Eve. I will do one broadcast at some point. I'm not sure when. Probably maybe lunchtime-ish. I will not do one tomorrow evening. I don't plan on it. My wife would probably kill me. But join me then. If you don't join me or see me tomorrow, I'll try to post a map for you or something, or you can watch the replay on Facebook or YouTube. Also on Twitter, and you can see what the weather latest data looks like from that point forward. Otherwise, I will be enjoying my New Year's Eve as well as I hope you do as well. And we will, if I don't see you tomorrow, we will talk with you New Year's Day, 2022. It's gonna come in on the bang. All right, you guys have a great night. Sleep well. Take care.